Hello there and welcome to the news at 6, where we get you the day's top developing stories. I'm Tracy Shilchi and here are the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi replies to the debate on the motion of thanks on the President's address in Lok Sabha, mocks the Congress as he defends his government's achievements. In Rajya Sabha, BJP members claim that demonetization has restored the rights of the poor. Opposition disagrees, saying that the decision to scrap the high-value currency notes caused loss of lives and hardships to people. Amid allegations of foul play in the death of former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha, suspense mounts over the swearing-in of V.K. Sasikala as the next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. And Israel passes a controversial bill to legalize thousands of settler homes built on privately owned Palestinian land in the occupied West Bank. Government's top lawyer and opposition warn of legal challenges ahead. Prime Minister Narendra Modi replied to the debate on the motion of thanks on the President's address in Lok Sabha on Tuesday. His main target was the Congress party as he defended his government's achievements. In his reply, the Prime Minister defended the decision of demonetization, an early budget and also the merger of the rail budget with the union budget.
In his reply to the debate on the motion of thanks on the President's address, the Prime Minister responded to each and every charge made by the Congress party. Defending the demonetization decision, he said that it was not taken in haste. He linked it to the fight against black money, saying the note ban was a part of the fight.
आप देखिए हमारे देश में साल भर में जितना व्यापार होता है करीब करीब उतना ही व्यापार दिवाली के दिनों में हो जाता है, यानी 50% दिवाली के दिनों में, 50% साल भर। एक प्रकार से पूरा उद्योग व्यापार किसानी सब काम दिवाली के आसपास उसकी पीक पर पहुंच जाता है। उसके बाद नेचुरल लल पीरियड हमारे देश में हमेशा होता है। दिवाली के अलावा दुकानदार भी 15-15 दिन बंद रख करके बाहर चले जाते हैं, लोग अपने आप घूमने। ये प्रॉपर टाइम था कि जबकि सामान्य कारोबार ऊंचाई पर पहुंच गया है, उसके बाद अगर 15-20 दिन दिक्कत होती है और फिर 50 दिन में ठीक ठाक हो जाएगा। और मैं आज देख रहा हूं कि जो मैंने हिसाब किताब कहा था उसी प्रकार से गाड़ी चल रही है।
The Prime Minister also defended his government's decision of presenting the union budget earlier than usual, saying it was a well thought out one.
भारत एक कृषि प्रधान देश है। हमारा पूरा आर्थिक कारोबार कृषि पर आधारित है। हम मई में करीब करीब बजट की प्रक्रिया को से पार निकलते हैं और 1 जून के बाद हिंदुस्तान में बारिश आना शुरू हो जाता है। 3 महीने तक बजट का उपयोग होना असंभव हो जाता है। एक प्रकार से हमारे पास कार्य करने का समय बहुत कम बच जाता है और जब समय होता है तब आखिरी दिनों की जो पूर्ति करने के लिए हम जानते हैं, हर सरकार जानती है कि दिसंबर से मार्च तक किस प्रकार से बिल कटते हैं और किस प्रकार से रुपये खर्च किए दिखाए जाते हैं।
The Prime Minister also slammed Mallikarjuna Kharge, the Congress leader who took the government to task in his speech on Monday.
खड़गे जी ने कहा कि काला धन हीरे जवाहरात में है, सोने में है, चांदी में है, प्रॉपर्टी में है। मैं आपकी बात से सहमत हूं, लेकिन ये सदन जानना चाहता है ये ज्ञान आपको कब हुआ? 1988 में आपने बेनामी संपत्ति का कानून बनाया। आपको जो ज्ञान आज हुआ है, क्या कारण था कि 26 साल तक उस कानून को नोटिफाई नहीं किया गया? क्या कारण था उसको दबाव कर?
He also launched several political attacks on the Congress party and even mocked its leaders.
आखिर भूकंप आ ही गया। मैं सोच रहा था कि ये भूकंप आया कैसे, क्योंकि धमकी तो बहुत पहले सुनी थी। कोई तो कारण होगा कि धरती मां इतनी रूठ गई होगी।
However, the opposition party has also shared lighter moments when during his speech the Prime Minister addressed the House in the same way he begins his election speeches. Shamsundar's report for Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, the upper house resumed discussion on motion of thanks on the president's address on Tuesday. Ram Kumar Verma of the BJP began the discussion. While the ruling party defended the government's decisions, the opposition parties continued their tirade against the government on the issue of demonetization.
Participating in the discussion on the motion of thanks for the President's address, Ram Kumar Verma of the BJP hailed the schemes unveiled by the NDA government. Keeping up with the government's pro-poor pitch, Verma claimed that demonetization has restored the rights of the poor.
ये भी बहुत खुशी होती है और मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं कि माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदय का भी कि देश में 1.2 करोड़ लोगों ने सब्सिडी छोड़ी और 1.5 करोड़ ऐसे लोग जो सपने में भी नहीं सोचते थे कि हमें कभी गैस का चूल्हा और धुआं रहित होगा। इस तरह का मिला। स्वच्छ भारत अभियान की मैं बात करना चाहूं, लोगों ने जन आंदोलन किया।
However, the opposition parties were quick to corner the government on the decision to scrap the high-value currency notes. The Congress, the RJD and the DMK dubbed the move disruptive, saying it caused loss of lives and hardships to the people.
खाद नहीं मिलती, बीज नहीं मिलता और नोटबंदी ने और भी बर्बादी की। जो बीजेपी शासित प्रदेश है, सबसे ज्यादा सुसाइड तो उसमें हो रहा है, महाराष्ट्र में हो रहा है, सबसे ज्यादा सुसाइड क्यों हो रहा है? छत्तीसगढ़ में हो रहा है, तो क्यों हो रहा है? किस लिए हो रहा है? इसके ऊपर सोचने की जरूरत है।
इसमें क्या है? वही सिट इंडिया, स्टैंड इंडिया, मेक इंडिया, स्वच्छ इंडिया। इंडिया ही इंडिया है, जनता कहीं पर नहीं है, जनता का नाम ही नहीं है। और क्या कहा गया है? हम ये कर देंगे। अरे भाई, जो आपने 2014 में अपने मैनिफेस्टो और भाषणों में कहा, वो तो आप पूरा कर नहीं सके हैं। कहां से नया करेंगे?
The government was promised to bring back the black money invested in foreign countries. But since they could not do so, they want to show off, they want to present a picture that this government is against black money. They have taken up this demonetization exercise.
Nominated MP KTS Tulsi also upped the ante against the government over demonetization.
The design of the new notes was finalized on 19th May 2016. If the design had been finalized on 19th May, what prevented the government from printing the notes? What prevented the government from recalibrating the ATMs? This was a tragedy in which over 100 lives are lost.
Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad had initiated the discussion on motion of thanks on February 2nd. The opposition parties have moved several amendments to the President's address. The motion of thanks is likely to be passed on Wednesday after the Prime Minister's reply. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's get you all the updates from the poll-bound states. Re-election was held at a polling station in Goa's Margao constituency on Tuesday morning. Polling booth number 8 at the government primary school in Aquim in Margao had reported technical problems on the election day on the 4th of February. The election was cancelled after officials failed to delete sample votes logged in the electronic voting machines. In Punjab as well, the Election Commission ordered the repolling in 48 polling stations in the Majidha, Muktsar and Sangrur assembly segments. Repolling was ordered after voter-verified audit paper trail EVMs malfunctioned on the 4th of February. Re-election will also take place at polling stations in Moga and Sardulgarh segments where EVMs display their votes polled during mock polls. The repolling will take place on the 9th of February. The EC had used the VVPATs for the first time in Punjab. Now, the Election Commission on Tuesday issued a show-cause notice to Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar over his bribe remark during a public rally in Goa. The notice said that the CD of his speech has not been tampered with in any manner. This was after Parrikar claimed that his election speech was incorrectly translated. The poll panel earlier on February 2nd issued a notice to Parrikar after it took cognizance of the complaints from the Goa Forward Party and the Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal. The commission had also alleged that Parrikar deliberately and intentionally instigated the public to take bribe for voting. The EC has sought his reply by the 9th of February. Now to Uttar Pradesh, with the first phase of assembly elections less than a week away, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav held a joint rally on Tuesday at Meerut. During the rally, Akhilesh launched an offensive against the centre and Prime Minister Narendra Modi's scam jibe.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav and Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi once again targeted the central government in a joint rally held in poll-bound Meerut. Hitting back at Prime Minister Narendra Modi over a scam jibe, Akhilesh said that it was strange that the PM named Mayawati in the acronym, as the BJP has allied with BSP thrice.
इन बीजेपी वालों से सावधान रहना। इन्होंने जो रास्ता अपनाया है, उस रास्ते ने भाईचारे को खतरा पैदा किया है। ये समाज को तोड़ने वाले लोग हैं। और यहीं पर मेरठ में आकर के प्रधानमंत्री कह गए थे, आपको याद होगा, कि हमें उत्तर प्रदेश को स्कैम से बचाना है। तो स्कैम का मतलब था समाजवादी, कांग्रेस, अखिलेश, और मैंने कहा भाई हमारी बुआ का नाम क्यों जोड़ दिया, ये बताओ पहले तो। अरे बुआ से तो इनके रिश्ते बहुत करीब के रहे हैं।
Taking the podium after Akhilesh, Rahul Gandhi also attacked PM Modi. The Gandhi Science said that PM Modi should stop divisive politics. He also claimed that the people of UP are united and the PM should stop spreading hate and anger.
अलग-अलग वायदे किए, एक वायदा पूरा नहीं किया। कहा था 2 करोड़ युवाओं को रोजगार दिलवाऊंगा। यहाँ इस भीड़ में, इस आंधी में कोई एक व्यक्ति है जिसको नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने रोजगार दिया? नहीं, सुनाई नहीं दिया। है या नहीं है? एक नहीं है। जहां भी वो जाते हैं, खोखले वायदे करते हैं, 15 लाख रुपए दूंगा, रोजगार दूंगा, हिंदुस्तान को अच्छे दिन दूंगा।
Hailing the Congress SP tie-up, Rahul said that their alliance would work for all, particularly the poor, the youth and women of the state. The Congress leader also promised to create more jobs in Uttar Pradesh. The state will hold its first phase of assembly elections on February 11th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Now to Tamil Nadu, where amid allegations of foul play in the death of the former Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha, suspense is mounting over the swearing-in of V.K. Sasikala as the next Chief Minister of the state. Reports in fact state that Governor Vidyasagar Rao was taking legal opinion on Sasikala taking over the post in view of the disproportionate assets case against her. However, there was no official confirmation on this.
Till late on Tuesday, there was still no clarity on V.K. Sasikala's swearing in as Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. The process was held up on Monday with Maharashtra Governor C. Vidyasagar Rao, who also holds the charge of Tamil Nadu, leaving from Mumbai from New Delhi. Reports said that Rao was seeking legal advice before administering the oath of office to Sasikala.
Total unanimity in the party. MLAs have unanimously elected Madam Sasikala Chinnamma as the Chief Minister, and also the rank and file of the party, all the office bearers of the party in their entirety in the state, they have selected her as the General Secretary of the party.
On Sunday, V.K. Sasikala replaced O. Pannirselvam as the leader of the ruling AIADMK legislature party. This was followed by Pannirselvam sending his resignation to Governor Rao, which was accepted. But news of Sasikala's imminent elevation triggered a storm of protests.
The questions that were raised were with regard to the qualification of Mrs. Sasikala, whether she is qualified to be the General Secretary. As per the bylaws of the party, she is not qualified to be the General Secretary, and according to the will of the people, she is not qualified to be the Chief Minister of the state.
There is no dispute that she is the nominee of the majority party in the assembly. So he should have immediately administered the oath of office to her rather than have a caretaker chief minister and gone and acted according to the constitution. I am sorry to say that the governor has flouted the constitution.
On Monday, the Supreme Court indicated it could deliver a judgment soon in a disproportionate assets case against Sasikala. A conviction after being sworn in could result in Shashikala having to step down as Chief Minister.
So I don't know why this confusion, whether the ADMK is bungling on the date or without without consulting the governor, had they made arrangements, is the only question which we have to see.
It's very unfortunate in Tamil Nadu that in the last 2 years we had 5 swearing in of chief ministers, and we don't want another one, 6th one next week as well. So it is completely not to be, and the people are upset. General public are not accepting, except 200 people in ADMK, that is the MLAs and the MPs. Nobody in ADMK also wants her to come.
A PIL was also filed in the Supreme Court seeking to restrain Shashikala from being sworn in as the Chief Minister. The PIL claimed that if she was convicted in the DA case, there could be law and order problems in the state.
Constitutional provision is challenged in this case. The constitutional provision permitting a non-member of Legislative Assembly to become Minister or Chief Minister is misused by the corrupt people who are in power, who are the parliamentarian.
61-year-old Shashikala Natarajan has never contested an election. The former Video Parlour Owners Association with Jayalalitha is the main reason attributed to her rise within the party. The Supreme Court said it would give its verdict next week in the 66 crore rupees corruption case against her. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And now to one of the top international stories. Israel has approved a controversial settlement expansion bill which seeks to retroactively legalize thousands of settler homes built on private Palestinian land in the occupied West Bank region. Palestine has slammed the bill and calls it legalizing theft of their land and has urged the international community to impose sanctions on their neighbors over the new law.
Israel on Monday passed a controversial bill retroactively legalizing thousands of settler homes built on privately owned Palestinian land in the occupied West Bank. The Israeli parliament voted 60 to 52 to approve the contentious bill late on Monday, despite warnings by the government's top lawyer and the opposition.
אל תיתנו ידכם לחוק המטורף הזה, שמאיים להרוס את הדמוקרטיה הישראלית, את מעמדה הבינלאומי של ישראל, מאיים על מפקדי צה"ל, מאיים על קברניטי המדינה, ופועל בניגוד מוחלט לדעתו של היועץ המשפטי לממשלה.
Palestinians slammed the new law as a means to legalize theft of Palestinian land and a move to deny them statehood.
I think it's a horrible law. I think it's impossible to take lands from their owners and to work against the ownership of people.
Under the law, the original Palestinian landowners will be financially compensated or given alternative land. The bill applies to about 4,000 settlement homes in the West Bank for which settlers could prove ignorance for building on privately owned land.
Taking property from residents of the occupied territory and giving it to nationals of the occupant is not necessary. It's probably illegal because it allows expanding the settlements, and it's not proportionate. It's also discriminatory because it basically allows the taking of property on the basis of nationality and giving it to other people on the basis of their nationality.
The bill was a key demand of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's right-wing cabinet. However, sources say Netanyahu privately opposed the bill over concerns that it could provide grounds for prosecution by the International Criminal Court. More than 600,000 Jews live in about 140 settlements built since Israel's 1967 occupation of the West Bank and East Jerusalem. The settlements are considered illegal under international law, though Israel disputes this. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, that's all we have for you on the news at 6. Thanks so much for joining us.